Hey everyone, Professor Lipscomb here. We're about to do our Excel 2021 in practice guided project for Chapter 1, Project 1-3. So in this project, you will copy an inventory worksheet from a resource workbook into your SIMnet project workbook. You will then complete product codes, copy formulas, format the worksheet, calculate the total inventory value, add a footer, and configure the worksheet for printing. Now, we'll tell you, you need to set aside about 20 to 30 minutes to do this project. Some of you, it won't take as long. Some of you may take a little longer. It depends on your experience with Excel. But I'm going to walk through the steps with you in this video. If you need me as an aid, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine too. You're not required to watch the video, but I am going to give you some information in this video that might be helpful. So I do encourage you to watch this first one. So to begin with, I will tell you that I downloaded all of the project file and the resources using the file download wizard. When you do that, it downloads everything that is needed for this project, including the solution file. Now, the solution file is a PDF that shows you what the final product should look like in case you aren't sure. Okay, but if you've done SIMnet before, you kind of know how all this works. I just want to walk you through, especially for those who are brand new to both SIMnet and maybe even Excel. So some terminology I want to start off with right away before we jump into the project. And that is in Excel, terms that you definitely need to know is you need to know what a row is. That would be what I have highlighted here. That is a row. You need to know what a column is, highlighted here. So row and column. You need to know what the formula bar is. That is this up here. Right now it's just got a number in there, but it's the formula bar. This is what's called a worksheet inside of an Excel workbook. So whether an Excel file has one sheet or multiple sheets, that is called a workbook. Each individual sheet inside an Excel workbook is called a worksheet. All right, so now that we have that kind of underway, let's go ahead and jump into our project and see how this project works. Now, I will say this, you have 3 opportunities to get this project correct. So if you don't get 100% on your first time out, that's okay. You can do this you have 3 attempts. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you here that if you have a Windows machine, that's the default Windows operating system. If you're using a Mac, you just need to slide the slider bar over and the directions will be updated for Mac. Now, also what I want to tell you is you could be using a different version of Office. What you download as a student should be the same version. You know, it's more cloud-based, but the apps that run locally on your computer. But even if there are some slight differences, that's okay. I'm going to be honest with you, in the real world, when you are doing some work and you're reading instructions anywhere you go, there could certainly be some updates that you're not aware of. So let's go ahead and get started with this project. Now, in at least Microsoft Edge, we have the ability to check off each thing as we do it, and it highlights the next step. I find this very, very useful. And if you don't know how to do a split screen, it's super simple. I'll tell you the simplest way to do it. There's a few ways to do it. But if you use your, I believe it's your Alt arrow key, like Alt arrow to the left, it puts your screen on the left, Alt arrow to the right, puts your screen on the right. And as I'm saying that, my keyboard, I know you're going to think this is silly, but my keyboard does not actually have Alt keys. It's different. So I was just, yes, it is the Alt key. I was just double checking myself. So Alt and then hold it down and then click your arrow that you want your screen to be on. So hold the Alt key down, arrow to the left, put something on the left, arrow to the right will put it on the right. That's one of the really fast ways to do it. But okay, let's dig in. If you need other good productivity tips, just let me know. Okay, so the first step here is opening up our workbook. Now you'll see right here, this one is the wherever. That is the second step. We do need to open that up. But behind there is my different file. So it's right here. here is my project file. So I will go ahead and check that off. And now we are on step 3 of this project, and I will call out the steps throughout the video so you can realize where we are with things. Okay, it says here we should be on the wherever document. So I'm going to scoot back over there because that's where we should be secondly, and it actually does matter. Okay, it actually does matter because what we're going to do is unfreeze panes in a moment. And this one does have some frozen panes. Now, one of the steps that I did not do yet was enable editing. So yes, I need to do that. That is done. And when I did that, it jumped onto another screen, but that's okay. I will fix that as well. So let me get back over here too. I'm going to use my Alt arrow key to get my files back over here. I know that I'm switching things a lot, but I will get back on task. Okay. Oh, actually, we are supposed to be on the wherever document. Okay. And I've enabled editing on both files. Okay. So here we go. It says to click the zoom out button in the status bar 5 times to return to the zoom size. So zoom out, you can see here that we're zoomed in to 150. This is a slider bar, and that little arrow right there is actually 100%, but I'll do what it says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you see that is 100%. They're just showing you that you can do plus and minus here to zoom in your document. The next thing we're going to do is click the freeze panes button. Now listen, when you don't know what that is or where to find it, in the brackets, it tells you exactly how to get there. So we're going to go to our View tab. Those of you who are new to Microsoft Office products, all of these across the top, those are called tabs. What you see here is the ribbon, which I can hide. I've not hidden the ribbon, but you can actually hide that if you want more real estate. So it tells me that it's on the View tab in the Windows group, and then I'm going to click Unfreeze Pane. So here is my Windows group, and then under Freeze Panes, I'm going to choose Unfreeze Panes. Okay, so I have done that. Again, in the Windows group, each one of these groups are labeled Sheet View, Workbook View, Zoom, Window, and each tab has different groups with different options. Okay, but again, we were on the View tab in the Windows group, and we clicked Freeze Panes and then Unfreeze Panes. Okay, so we've taken care of that. The next step that we want to do is step 3C in this project, and it is click the Switch Windows button. Again, we're still on the View tab. We're going to go to the Windows button. We are going to switch to the wherever one. It says click the Switch button. So we're actually going to confirm that wherever one and then the project are both open. And they are both open. So I'm just going to say, yes, we know they're both open. Now confirm that the wherever 01, oh, we just did that, sorry. Display the wherever-01, okay? If I get confused, it's easy enough. It's going to tell me right up here in my title bar. Or I can even do the switch windows and see which file is checked. But it's easy just to look up here. Okay, that's my file name. Okay, so we're displaying the wherever-01 workbook. Now we're going to copy a sheet. So we are going to right click on sheet 1 in the wherever-01 workbook, and we're going to choose move or copy. Okay, so when we right click, your right mouse button, and we are going to select move or copy. We did that. Then we're going to click the to book and drop down that to put it in our project folder or file. So here it is. Right now we're on this workbook. We're going to drop it down and go to our project workbook. And then we're going to select create a copy. It's right down here. That's an important step. So make sure that you are reading the directions carefully before you take action. That's an easy one to miss. So we're going to select the create a copy. We did that. And we're going to click OK. Okay. And then it says the copied sheet inserts a sheet 1 brackets 2 in your project folder or file. So right now you can see we're still in the wherever. So if we want to double check that that happened, we switch the window, we take a look. There is that new sheet that they just told us was there. We verified it. And now we're going to switch the windows again, and we're going to go back to wherever. I'm just calling it wherever at this point, the wherever file, wherever -01. Okay, now what it wants us to do is close this workbook, the wherever -01, without saving it. So I can just click close, and it's going to ask me to save. I'm going to say, no, don't save. Don't want to save it. So that file closed, and it did not save it. Now I want to verify that I'm in the correct workbook, and that is that guided project 1-3. I am. And now I want to rename the sheet 1, parentheses 2, and we're going to name that to inventory. So double click. Okay, it's a pretty fast double click, so if you have trouble with that, just try it again. Now there are other ways to rename that sheet, but I want you to learn to follow the directions precisely, because there will be some things that if you don't follow the directions precisely, it will count it incorrect. This is one they're not really going to know how you did it, but double clicking will get you in there to rename it, or let me click off of that. You can right click and choose rename. So 2 different ways to do that. And you'll find that in all these products, there's a lot of different ways to do things. I try to stick with what they're asking us to do most of the time, but sometimes I'll tell you an alternate way too. Okay, right click the sheet 1 tab and choose delete. Here's sheet 1, right clicking it, and I'm going to choose delete. Okay, so that is gone. Now I actually clicked twice because I'm going to tell you why. When you're in a different window, the active window was not Excel. So really that first click that I clicked over here was to activate the Excel window. So it seemed like I had to click twice, but it's really just because I was over on this side checking off my boxes. Okay, now it says fill a label series and delete a column. All right, so in step 6, A, says to click on cell A4. Now I'm already in A4 because you can see up here that I'm in A4. Anytime you need to move around Excel, you can just type it up here and it will move it. Or you can, of course, use your mouse to find the cell that you want. So each one of these items, if you're not familiar with Excel, is a cell. So in cell, I clicked cell A4, which I did that, and I need to type WEA001. And those are zeros, by the way. You can tell an O and a 0 apart in these directions usually because a 0 is a little flatter. An O is a lot rounder in a computer. So like if I just type, just to show you a capital O there, see the difference between the 2 zeros and the O? So that is 001. And again, that is important to know. All right, now we're going to select A4 and double click its fill handle. If you're not sure what the fill handle is, I'm going to show you right now. And I might have, oh, there it is. I thought I accidentally deleted something. Okay, so a fill handle, see that little green box right there at the end? Now, when my cursor looks like this, I'm not on the fill handle. Watch it change when I actually go on the fill handle. See how it looks like a cross, a black cross or crosshairs, however you want to look at that. When you have that in sight, you can now double click and watch what happens. How cool is that? Okay, so what it did at that point is it gave each one of these items a product ID. It just basically took that last number on the end and it added to it, added 1 each time, it incremented by 1. Now the next thing in step 6D says right click on column J and choose delete. So here is column J. Remember, this is a column. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to choose delete. Okay, that column is gone. All right, the next thing, step 7, we are going to use the fill handle again, and this time we're going to copy a formula. So let's take a look at H4. So H4 right here, this is a formula. Do you see in the formula bar how it says equals E4 times G4? That's actually a mathematical formula that calculates for us. Okay, so it is multiplying the quantity by the cost to calculate the value of the current stock. All right, so what they want us to do here is I did click on H4 to explain what's in there. And now they want me to double click the fill handle for cell H4. The formula is copied down the column, and they give you a little hint here. Please enter the to complete the function if you don't double click fast enough. I want you to practice this double click. Okay, see how my crosshairs are? It's a very quick double click and you're done. If you didn't get it the first time, practice that. I want you to be able to use that fill handle efficiently because it really does save you a lot of time. Okay, now we are in step 8 and it says merge across and set word wrap. They want me to select cells A1 through I2. A1, so I have to scroll up a little bit, A1, okay? And they want, I'm gonna hit escape because I've accidentally hit something there. Okay, I see, A1. So make sure that this is what it looks like, right? You only have that cell. If you have other things highlighted or little flashy, broken lines around things, nope, just hit your escape key, okay? Escape always gets you out of things. I love it. So just escape. So again, we're going to go to A1. So I put my cursor there, and I need to select cells to I2. So that's all the way over here. What I can do is I can press and hold my shift key and then click that cell. How simple is that? Okay, I've selected A1, cell A1, all the way to I2. All right, now what they want me to do is they want me to click the merge and center button arrow. They tell me where that is, and I want to read the entire thing before I do this, okay? This is where I say make sure you read everything first. So click the merge and center button arrow. That's located under the home tab in the alignment group, and they show you. And they want you to select merge across to combine the cells without centering the data. So I have to go back over here, and if you notice that it doesn't look like it's selected anymore, but as soon as I click on Excel, that makes Excel my active window and it's still selected. So now what I need to do is go to the Home tab, and then I need to go to the Alignment group and see how I can't see. Oh, here's the Alignment group. I was going to say if I can't see it, it's because my window is shrunk down. Okay, and when your window gets shrunk down, you can't see all the options. But as you size that window out, you can see all the options. But I see alignment here, and I'm going to use the down arrow. So it expands that ribbon out, and they want me to use merge across. So I'm going to use this down chevron here, and I'm going to select merge across. Okay, that is taken care of. The cells in each row are merged and the labels are left aligned. So that is true. See how now A1, it stretches all the way over here, and A2. Okay, those are all, they're merged. I can't click on C1, for example, okay, or C2. Those are merged and they are left aligned. So I feel comfortable that I did that correctly. Now it says select cell F3. So I'm going to go to F, and I'm going to go to 3. All right. Select cell F3 and click the expand formula bar arrow at the right edge of the formula bar. And it shows us how to do that in the figure. Okay. And that says the label has a line break after the word or, but the row is not tall enough to display 2 lines. Now I will tell you this, because I have my window sized down for the purpose of you being able to see the directions and my Excel, it looks a little bit different than what it will look like when you have a full screen of Excel. So now what they want me to do is they want me to click the wrap text button. Okay, let me go back over here. The wrap text button, which is under my home tab in the alignment group, and then the row height will adjust to display the label on 2 lines. So wrap text, it's right here. Okay, so we've got that text wrapped. Now collapse the formula bar, which I didn't have open, by the way, because I didn't need to since I just wrapped the text. Sorry, I didn't mean to click that. But anyway, we're good to go now. All right. Now we are on step 9, and it says to select cells A4 through C39. So I'm going to go find A4, which is right here. And I am going to hold my shift key down, okay, my shift key, and I'm going to need to use my, oops, I went a little too far there. Let me get back home. Sorry, I kind of messed that one up. Let me go all the way home. If you click home on your keyboard, it will take you all the way back home. So no harm, no foul. So again, A4, I'm going to click and hold that. And what I need is I need C39. So I'm going to hold my shift key, C39. Okay, there we go. So, and it says, and click the increase indent button. Now, if I don't know where that is, that's on my home tab, my alignment group again. And this moves the label away from the border for easier reading. So again, they're asking me to use the increase indent button one time. Okay, so here's increase indent one time. There we go. That made that look so much easier to read. I'll click that. Now they want me to select cells F4. So let me find F4. Here's F4 through F39. Again, I'm going to hold down my shift key, F39, and they want me to click the center button. Now, if you have your ribbon all the way lined out, you'll be able to see it a lot easier, but since my ribbon is smaller, I'm just going to do alignment. And if you don't know which one it is, you can always hover over. I'm not sure if you can see that on your screen, but when I hovered over, it says center. So there, I've centered my content. Now I want to select cells G4 through I39. So G4 through, and I'm going to hold my shift key, I39. Okay. And then I'm going to click the number format in the drop down. So home tab, on my home tab, my numbers group. Okay. And so look here again, you have to look for it, numbers group, and you're going to choose currency. Now, I think we can figure out which one currency is, but again, guess what? You can, oh, actually, you want to do this. Do the drop down and hit currency. Oh, I started staring in the wrong direction there. There we go. And now we're going to select cells A1. So A1, and we're going to go to A2. And then we're going to click the font size arrow in the home, then font group. Here's our font group. And we want to make it 20. Choose 20 as the size. So you can actually use this drop down and find 20, or you can literally just highlight and put it in there. So we're changing that to 20 point. Now we are on step G of step 9G. We're going to select cells A3 through I3. So A3, and I'm going to hold down my shift key through I3. Okay, that whole, it's not the entire row, but a numerous cells in a row, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to make that bold. Now that's on our home tab in our font group, and it is bold. It looks like this. Now, if you aren't sized down like I am, you'll see it very easily and quickly. Now we're going to click the format button. So that's on our home tab and our cells group, and we're going to choose the row height. Okay, the row height. So we are going to, let's see, format button and row height. And we're going to change that to 35. Again, just type it in there and click OK. All right, so we've got our row height corrected. We are moving right along. Okay, so now we are on step 10. We are going to display and calculate the total inventory value. Now to do that, we're going to click on cell G40. Do you feel like we're playing bingo yet? Okay, so this is G40, or guess what? Remember what I can do up here? I can just go type G40, enter. It'll take me right there. Always make sure though that you are like, hit escape if you need to, but you are in a particular cell, not multiple cells when you try to do that, because sometimes it won't work as well. But G40, there you are, we're in G40. And now we are going to type current inventory value at cost in G40. So we are going to start typing current inventory value at cost. Okay, this is where I'm going to caution you. If you see that you need to type something, and this also includes that tab that we changed to the word inventory, it is case sensitive when it's graded. So if you don't type it exactly like it's shown, it will be counted wrong. Guess what? If you also do this and you add a space at the end of something, inventory or here, it will also, or could also count it wrong. I've seen that happen. I've seen students say, well, it's perfectly fine, and I've found a space. So just know that that happens. All right, so I've pressed enter there. All right, and that is in G40, just making sure I was in the right cell. All right, select G40 and click the bold button. Okay, back to G40, and we're going to click the bold button, Home tab, Font Group, Bold. There it is. Now click the Align Right button in the Home tab, Alignment Group. And again, if you don't know which one it is, see this is left, you can just hover over until you see one that says Align Right. Now, what I will tell you is this row right here is aligning it left to right or center. This is aligning it inside the cell top to bottom. So the top of the cell, the middle of the cell, bottom of the cell. So that is the difference when you see each of those. So in this case, we want to align right. So taking care of that. And now we are on step 10E. We're going to select cell H40. H40, I'm going to just do my little thing here because I like to do it this way. H40, it was just the one next door to G40, obviously. And we're going to do an auto sum. Now, when we do that, we go to our Home tab. We go to the editing group. And let me see how that looks here. Oh, here it is, since I'm all scrunched up. And then we are going to click auto sum. See right here, auto sum. And it will take a look at everything in that column and sum those numbers. So instead of us saying, you know, A5 plus A6, 8, whatever, or H5, whatever, it's going to sum the entire thing. Now, here's where people go, oh no, something bad happened. No, nothing bad happened. When you see pound signs like that, that means that the value could not fit in the cell at its current size. So the next step that we're going to do is we are going to auto fit that value. So auto fit column H to display the value. And lots of different ways to do this. Let me see what would be the best way to teach you to do that. Probably cells, format, and auto fit, not height. We want to auto fit the width. Column width, auto fit column width, right there. So cells, format, and then auto fit column width. Now that's how auto fit works. Now I will tell you this, auto fit's great because if that value changes, then it can auto fit that. But you can also, you don't want to do it in this project, but you can also use, let me click and make this active, these little crosshairs, and then click and hold and slide the column. I don't want to do that as a demonstration at the moment because if I'm off on this column, it will count it wrong when I go to grade this. Okay, we are now on step 11. I know this project seems a little tedious and long, but I promise you there's a lot of great skills in here. And as you do these, they get easier. All right, so now we're going to select cells A3 through I40. So I'm just going to go down to I40. And before I click on cell I40, I'm going to hit my shift key, click, and that way it's selected all of that. I want to click borders. So I need to go to my Home tab. I'm already on there. My font group, and then select all borders. So if I use this little drop down right here, I'm looking for all borders, which is right here. Okay, so now we've got all borders. Now we're going to select cell A4, which is right here. Again, if you get things kind of squirrely, just hit your escape button and it will take you out of anything that's marked. So A4, and we're going to select through I40. So again, I'm going to take my cursor down here, and I'm going now hold my shift key and click I-40. And now I'm going to click my format button and choose my row height. So I do this in my home tab, and I go to cells group. Okay, cells, remember it's right here. And I'm going to format, and then it's going to be row height. Now, when I do that, it pops up and says, well, what do you want your row height to be? Well, in this case, I want it to be 20, and I'm going to click OK. All right, so that handled that. Now, I will tell you, you can do the same thing if I highlight all those and then press and hold my mouse, click and hold my mouse key here, my mouse button. I could size it this way, but I don't want to do that because, again, if I'm not right on the money, and it will show you what your height is, but I want to make sure that I can get a good grade. All right, so we did that. We did our row height. We did 20. Now it says press Control Home. So I'm going to hold my Control key, then click Home, and you see what that did. That took me all the way up to A1. Okay, we are cooking right along. I will tell you, if you don't have auto save selected, which I notice right now that I do not, I'll turn the, oh, it's going to want me to put it somewhere. You can have autosave turned on, or you can save your work. I would do that periodically. So autosave is a great way to do things unless you're afraid that you may mess up and, you know, not want to save. But Control Z will undo an action. So you can always Control Z if you feel like you've messed up something. All right, let's go to step 12, and we're going to click the layout button. So that's going to be on our view. Let's see, I'm sorry, click the page layout view, sorry, in the status bar. Okay, so sorry about that. I had the wrong information in my mind. Okay, so again, the page layout, sorry, my phone was buzzing. The page layout view in the status bar. So our status bar is here along the bottom, and these are our different views. And if you don't remember what they are, just make sure you click on your Excel spreadsheet to make sure that's your active window, and then hover over each one of these. So this is normal, this is page layout, and this one is page break preview. So our directions wanted us to go to page layout. So there we go. We are now in the page layout view. Now we're going to click the center header section. This is 12B. Okay, there's the center header section and the headers foot and footers tab display. Okay, so there's where we need to be. I'm going to go ahead and check these off. And then it says click the go to footer button. And let me get back over here. Go to footer, which is in our header and footer tab and navigation group. So when we go to our header and footer tab, which we're already in, and then we go to footer. Okay, there we go. I know it seemed like it was a little crazy there. All right, then it says to click the right section. So this is the right section of our footer. And then it says to click the file name button in the header footer elements group. So file name right here. I need to make sure I didn't skip a step. Click the header footer center section, click the go. Oh, okay, I did not. I don't think I did. All right, so we put the file name in there. That is a very, very helpful tool, because what that's going to do is it's going to, in the footer, whatever we name this file, which right now it's already named, but I haven't saved it again, it is going to list that right in the footer. Have you ever been at work or somewhere and you're like, I know I have this file, I can't remember what I called it or where it is, and you just can't seem to find it? Well, if you put that in the footer, you're always going to be able to find your file. And I need to practice what I preach, because I'm one that will do that more frequently than I care to admit. All right, so we did put that in there, and that says click a worksheet cell to see the file name. Okay, let's do it. There we go. See how that came up? Beautiful. Now we want to switch to normal view. So again, if you don't know which one it is, go make sure your worksheet is the active one, or your Excel is your active window, and then just go hover over. So again, normal view, and then we want to press Control and then hold it down and press our home key. It's going to take us to the top of our file. All right, you guys are doing amazing. If you haven't done this before and it seems like a lot, you're doing amazing, I promise you. Okay, make sure you save periodically. Now we're going to go change page setup options. Okay, so we're going to click the File tab and choose Print. So here's our File tab. We're going to choose Print. And now let's see what it tells us to do. It says click the next page button 2 or 3 times to see how the worksheet spreads across different pages. The number of pages depends on your printer settings. Okay, so you can see right here, 4 pages. You can see how ugly that is, because look at that. Could you read that spreadsheet? No, it doesn't all fit correctly. All right, so click the no scaling in the settings. So let's go do everything that's asking us to do here. No scaling, okay? And then instead we're going to choose fit sheet on one page. So you have some different options here. You can fit all the columns to one page, all the rows on one page, or fit the sheet on one page. Okay, so that's what they've asked us to do. And then we need to return to the worksheet. So we just use our arrow right up here. And I'm going to go ahead and check these boxes off that we've just completed. Okay, now we are going to set our print area. This is step 14. So we're going to select A3. Let me hop over here and cell A3. And now I'm going to go to F11. So F11. I'm going to have to hold my shift key, click F11, just making sure that I have gotten everything that I wanted. And now I am going to set my print area. So click the print area button, which is on the page layout tab, our page setup group. See this where it says print area? We're going to set print area. Okay, now we're going to press Control Home. Control plus Home takes us back to the top. And we're going to click the File tab and select Print. File and Print. Look at that. That's all it's going to print, just that area that we just told it to. So sometimes you have a spreadsheet that has just tons of rows and columns, but you don't need all of that information on a piece of paper. Many different ways you can do lots of cool things, but this is one of them, just setting the print area that you need to see. Okay, now we're going to return to the worksheet. Again, just use this arrow here. There we go. Now it says save and close the workbook. The print area is saved with the workbook. Okay, so now I need to save and close my workbook. All right, so I saved it. So this is saved just in my downloads folder. And one thing that I will encourage you to do is keep a copy of your work, and I would put it in a folder called ITE 140. It's okay if you want to use your downloads, but you know, periodically we need to clean out our downloads folder anyway. So it's nice just to make a folder for your work. Now we're ready to submit for grading. Now I have not done this project before, so hopefully I didn't miss any steps, but we are going to find out. Now you can either open up your downloads folder and slide your file over here, drop it in, which if I open up my folder, it's going to probably open on a different screen. Let me find my downloads. It did. I'm just going to slide it over there as soon as I find it. Okay, there it is. I'm just making sure I have the right project. So we're going to I'm just going to slide it over there. Or you can use this upload my file to go navigate to where it is. I don't think that actually went. There we go. This is the situation you should get. You should get a message that says that this has been successfully uploaded and saved. And it says, would you like to submit it for grading? In my case, yes, I'm ready to submit this file because I am finished with it. But if you did this because you were on a computer that you might not get back to, no way to really save it, you could say, no, I'm not ready, and you could come back to it, download it, and work on it some more. But let's go ahead, drum roll please, submit the file. We're preparing the result, and let's hope that I got 100. It's really embarrassing when you don't get it all correct. Okay, good, we did it. We got 100, so we are complete with this project. So I didn't look at the clock, but we'll be able to see on the video how long it took, even with me sharing some extras. Okay, I always say always allow 30 to 40 minutes to do a project, or set a whole hour aside so you're not feeling rushed. You can get up and get a drink, whatever, so that you get everything done. So this is what's also cool. If you did not get everything correct, there would be some markings of incorrect, and it would let you go back and see what you missed so that you could then, you don't have to do the whole project over, just use the file that you were using. You know, in this case, it's still in my downloads, make your corrections and upload it again. Make sure you save it before you upload it. Things that happen to students often is they will upload a folder and get a 0, or upload a file and get a 0 and not understand why. It's because they forgot to save their work. And if you don't save it, you are literally just uploading the original file. All right. Let me see if I can go back. I'm not sure if it'll let me go back from here. If you want, it'll also show you how many times you've done this file. Let's see if I can go back right here. Yeah, here we go. Previous attempts. It'll show you what your attempts are. I don't believe you have this delete button, but if you needed, you really messed up something, you got that 0, whatever, talk to me because I can go in and delete one of your attempts. But you shouldn't need me to. You have 3 attempts, okay? And you can look at each one. See the little eyeball there? Like you can, literally go in and see what that attempt looks like, okay? So you can just go right here and see. But again, if I just click back up here, then this takes me back to the original instructions. And there's also a best practices, which I did not share this with you before we started, but you can always read these best practices as well. So that concludes our very first project. Super proud of you. I'm sure you did a great job. And if for some reason you didn't hit 100, just go back through the project and check everything and upload it, save it, upload it again, and I'm sure you'll get 100. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next lesson.